This confrontation can cancel your career.
Canceled.
Canceled. Canceled.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Canceled.
Cancel
Culture.
podcast.
Welcome back to Cancel Culture, everyone. Season 2, baby! The podcast writers' room, where a diverse group of Gen Z femme comedy writers write a funny, unoffensive joke about a topic that most might consider a no-fly zone in comedy that even an old, cis, white man, aka my dad, can tell without getting canceled. Today's topic, jokes about gun violence. Woo-hoo! That's right, we're gonna write a joke about gun violence that this dude can tell without sounding like an asshole, which, if you've met him, is pretty hard. Why?
To show that it is possible.
That's right, everyone. All right, I am Jamie, and I actually used to use a water gun as a flirtation device at like Spirit Day in elementary school.
My name's Elayna, and I am the sole family member that is not a gun owner.
I'm Sarah. I love guns and roses. I love rock and roll.
Lastly, and certainly leastly, a man who certainly couldn't shoot a gun for fear of the recoil messing up his hair. Evan?
I once did shoot a BB gun at a bird in a tree.
Oh.
I hit it.
Are you a psycho?
No, I hit it.
Were you 12 at this time?
Yeah, I was 12.
Were you?
Yes, I was 12.
Wow.
It was a BB gun.
What's
like,
wrong
who?
with you?
How old are you? I mean, if you're holding a BB gun and you're not 12, what the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, it was. And I didn't think it could shoot that far, and it hit it, and it was disturbed me so much I've never touched a firearm since.
Oh, good.
Well, actually,
That's
I
good
love that
news.
transformation story.
So now we're gonna get into the part of the show where we look at some bad clips and some good clips of some jokes about guns and see what we think about them. See if they're cancelable or not. I don't know. And speaking of government, and specifically American government, we actually have a show from an Australian man, I believe, named Isaac Butterfield, which sounds like a very American
Great
last
name.
name actually,
Such a
Butterfield. But
Sweet man.
but let's take a look.
This Australian extremist stormed this building, this mosque, this room where people were saying their prayers and going about their business. And for me, the saddest thing about that, it wasn't the 52 people who were killed. It wasn't the countless others who had their lives changed forever because their family members were taken from them. It was the hundreds of people that night who couldn't make it home from nightclubs in Christchurch because all the cabbies were dead.
I feel like the audience really went for a journey there. They didn't know whether they like
Jeez.
The
made
suspense.
That sweet name missold him. He came in
Yeah.
there just so aggressive, so savagely aggressive.
Yeah, a little hint of racism, a
Yeah.
little sprinkle.
That's kind of the worst part of that joke too. It's like, it's not even necessarily the like gun violent part. It's the part where he's just being racist and saying that all the people who died were cab drivers.
Yeah.
Right, it was just
Because they were-
inconvenient.
Yeah.
And I think it's good when the audience is a sea of like, whoa! Like, that was the noise that I heard upon ending of that joke. You want like a couple
I
laughs
concur.
heated in there, right?
Well, and then they made their way to laughing.
Then the pressure of the room makes you clap for it.
Yeah, he built up the anticipation. Was an effective tactic, and then the punchline. Meh.
This is like when I tell a story and I don't know where I'm going with it, which is a lot of the time, and you just try to then bring in like a shock as a way to get yourself out of it. Like, I don't know, if you're telling like I am right now, like
Yeah.
and then you just say
Relatable.
something shocking just to get a reaction.
I think with topics like these, the goal of the comedian isn't necessarily as much to get a laugh, but to press some boundary to the point of shocking the audience, which, by the way, I think is a fair role for comedy to play. But this guy was just like, I'm going to shock you, and that's the joke.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
that's
think
just
he only
weak.
brought up guns because he wanted to talk about how all the cab drivers are of the Islamic faith. Like, that's all he wanted to say.
I just want to say one more thing about Isaac Butterfield's joke. I think that
It wasn't very smooth. That was
Yeah.
a butter joke.
It also,
You've exceeded your quota of dad jokes for this episode. You're
I think
done.
that took a second for my brain to acknowledge that Sarah just said that.
I
right,
wouldn't call
I don't
it a
need to
butter
say anything
joke
more.
as much as a butter comment, but okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That was really
Um,
that was really mean.
Yeah, you would have called it a joke if you'd thought of it, Evan. She just stole your thunder.
If you have to explain it, it's always funny.
I don't think that
That's my theory.
I don't think that it's a cancelable offense. I just think it's kind of dumb.
No, I think that. So here's the thing: we don't have to cancel these guys when they tell bad jokes. Just write better fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then also don't defend your mistakes. Like, just admit that you made
Just
a
be like,
mistake.
yeah.
Always a
That's
plain
the
fucking
issue
Okay,
with
to
joke.
say I
cancel
fucked
culture,
up.
though.
Right. You just be like, I fucked up. It was me. I fucked up. I'll be better.
I think he is cancelled because I want the word cancel to have less weight altogether. So it's like he's cancelled in like a
For
flippant
this
way.
week,
Like
he's
he's
canceled
cancelled.
for
He's
this
fine. He's
week.
cancelled.
Yeah.
Canceled.
That's short-term cancellation. It's like sitting in the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no one's
like the
permanently
naughty
cancelled,
corner,
Evan.
like the naughty step.
Yes, with the dunce hat.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever
That's
use that tool called self-control on your computer that would like make it impossible to go on the internet so that you could get work done? Oh, I used to do this thing in high school where I had this app
Sounds like
called
for porn
self-control.
addictions.
No,
Like,
it
there's
was
like a
because
specific-
it was because I couldn't stop watching like TV and Netflix and YouTube when I was supposed to be working. So you could like blacklist certain websites, but you could still like use the internet, but it would just have certain websites that you couldn't go to in a time thing. And then you hit go and it locks it so that for the amount of time that you enter. So I think we should use that for cancellation where it's like you get locked on a certain time.
Oh, and then
You
after
know?
a time you're released.
After a time
Go
you get
back to
released.
your shenanigans.
Back to society. Anyway, but we can move on. I think we should look at another example of a joke that we wouldn't tell so that we know what we should tell. Let's look at a bad example. I actually think this is a good one to
Like a good
look
bad
at.
one.
Well, no, I don't even know if it counts as a joke, but we did find a clip of Ted Cruz. And I don't really want to. I don't want to.
This is a
Don't
good
preface it. Yeah, just
I'm not gonna
throw it
preface
out.
it. Let's just play the
This
Ted
is one of my
Cruz clip.
favorite clips. Paul, you want to play it, not just put. Okay.
Yeah, Paul.
It's not even sleepy time for Paul.
No.
Of course, in Texas, we cook bacon a little differently than most folks. There's grease coming down. All right, let's see if we've got some bacon. All right. Machine gun bacon.
He's so creepy.
What was that smut on my screen when he said grease coming down? That
Yeah,
made me
it's
feel sick.
not at that point. It's not a hobby. It's a fetish.
Ted Cruz really reminds me of my 10th grade nerdy chemistry teacher, like trying to do cool experiments to be hip
Yeah.
and fun. But he's like a little gremlin. Like, he's
No, I
so nerdy
agree.
and strange.
But he's trying to be tough there. That's him being
Oh.
tough.
I thought he was
There's a
trying to be cool.
contrast between his button-up starched shirt and the big weapon in his hands.
this
Him
is a-
throwing the bacon in the cart. At least he grocery shops.
This kid, this was a thespian at Princeton and Harvard who now wants to come across as dirty fucking Harry.
There's nothing
He
more
went to
disturbing
Princeton
than
and Harvard.
Yeah,
yeah.
Princeton undergrad where he was in a lot of theater with a lot of makeup, and then he goes to Harvard. I mean, he's
Okay,
That man was a virgin for a long time.
long time.
100%.
let's
Yeah.
not knock theater majors.
They don't go around with a
um,
lot of AR-15s, shooting bacon.
Yeah, he's overcompensated.
It also had
So
to be
performative.
bacon. So macho. Like the whole like bacon
Right, it had to
culture.
be.
It was like
bacon,
this much
bacon.
bacon to eat too.
Well,
He
I-
ate like
I-
a
It
sliver.
looked.
Yeah,
It
that would
wasn't
be.
cooked. Like at the end when he was putting it in his mouth, it was like flopping wet.
Yeah, it's not
You
crispy.
like your crispy bacon. I like my
Bacon order
crispy,
up,
too.
bacon order up. I'm shooting as fast as I can.
That was worse than mine. That one was worse than mine.
Yeah,
It's a really shitty restaurant.
I'm no longer laughing dad jokes. I will just.
You're banning you're banning dad jokes now.
She's withholding. But you know what's kind of insane about that whole thing too is he made it more funny than I think the bad joke.
Machine gun bacon.
Like that objectively is a funny thing that happened.
Yeah.
I
No,
think.
it's like a cultural kind of
But he doesn't think it's
snapshots.
funny, or
No,
does he?
It seems like it's a skit. Like if I was watching this, I would think it's hilarious, but I think he's taking it seriously.
No. His whole persona is built to piss people like us off. Like that's the whole. He's like, I'm just here to troll you. That's his whole thing. But again, I think it goes from like, this is something I like to do, or it's for protection. That's he takes that gun home and fucks it. There's absolutely no question.
What did I say? What did I just say?
Maybe he has a pencil dick and he fucks the barrel.
Oh wow, Jamie, you're creative.
That was a visual I really didn't need. But
puts the
thank
bullets-
you
he
for putting
puts the
that.
bullets-
Ew, no, I don't want anything.
too far,
I don't
too
want
far.
anything else to come out of your
no,
mouth right now. I don't want
no more
anything.
sphincter
I
talk.
then he-
literally just don't. No, stop.
straps
Literally
the-
everything about.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need you to stop. I'm
Everyone
gonna
was
That giggling.
That's on
That
careful
hurt.
mode.
Sarah doesn't seem to mind.
Okay, well, you're
Sarah
uploaded.
likes talking about gun fucking.
Isn't that my brand entirely? Like, I
It is.
think it lines up.
Entirely. But I do think I think
that's
they
fine.
love guns more. I think given the choice, I think gun owners like that, given the choice between having sex with their gun or having their gun and having sex.
With their
They would
weird
rather
old
have the gun.
wife. Not to be rude about age. Sorry.
Well, I think
But
so.
maybe
I
you
mean,
would
that's
pick
what
the
makes them
gun.
ammosexual.
Who is Ted Cruz's wife?
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Heidi.
Some
Very
woman that he
phallic.
calls mother.
Well, yeah,
Wait,
no,
what?
Heidi.
Oh no, that's Pence.
What?
That's Pence.
That's Pence calls her mother. Yes.
Oh, they all seem the same to me.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Mike
Pence calls his wife mother.
How do you know?
It's like a
Seen it
known.
happen on the television?
He televised.
Yeah,
They're not-
Really?
he
yeah.
does it in front of people.
So he's a little
I
mummy,
feel like
mummy king.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is like all
I'm
the
not
people-
kink shaming. I'm not kink shaming.
Right, but
I just,
they kink shame everyone. The people who go after gays and queers and trans people are they have the weirdest fucking fetishes in the whole world. Like,
Well, yeah,
guns.
that's why they judge everybody else. There's this campaign commercial. It ran around 2020, and it's like this woman like racing to her car after work, and she's like running from some mysterious guy cloaked in the parking lot, and she pulls her like console open, but there's no gun in there, and then the guy gets her and smashes her window, and that's the end of it. And then it's like, Joe Biden wants to get rid of your guns, this will happen to you. And then it's like, if you vote for so-and-so, don't even remember who it was. I don't know what was happening.
Ted Cruz.
Which person? Probably. Then it was like showing Ted Cruz's America or whoever's America with her like reaching into the car with the gun and shooting the guy in the parking lot. And
they're so paranoid. Like,
and it also was like so over the top dramatic. It was like Teen Wolf level gun drama.
CW level. When you think about it, the NRA and CW are pretty much the same organization.
Pretty much, they have the same age audience apparently. But
They have the same business model.
School children.
I think we have an ad. That speaking of teachers with guns, I'm pretty sure we have a little ad. Let's see it.
It's not just the quizzes, the grading, or the cafeteria duty. It's something more. It answers the call. It's the will to fight and determination to win. Found inside each and every K-12 classroom, it answers the NRA's call for good guys with guns. Teachers. The few, the underpaid. AR-15s 20% off with your school ID. Buy now.
All right. Well, what an ad that was. I love seeing that. I was just actually talking about with these folks. Remember those duck and cover ads during like the Cold War? Duck and
Time to duck and cover.
Let's ask, what do you use to protect yourself in the day-to-day?
Condoms.
Like if you were in trouble, what would you use?
You, Evan.
Well, but here's the issue. We wouldn't need to protect ourselves if they would just create gun control.
You're always saying it's me. It's you.
No, but like there are bad guys. Like these people are paranoid. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Like there are bad guys. People do bad things.
Right.
People...
That's why I have my bear repellent. It sits on my bedside table.
Where did you buy bear repellent?
I don't
Wait, I
actually
don't
have
know.
bear repellent, but I do have
Okay.
mace, which is illegal in New York.
It's legal in
But
most
also in Michigan, if you go to Cabela's, there's like a whole section of the
Right.
sprays, and then a section of the knives, and then a section of the guns. And I
So-
usually stick to the sprays.
If mace is illegal in New York, what are we supposed to use? Because guns are more
You're
safe.
supposed to call the cops,
weapon.
Jamie. You're supposed to call 911, and the authorities will handle it by shooting the perpetrator for you. That's what you need to do.
Without
Especially
discerning
if
whether
they're not
they
white.
should.
Right, they're executioners in this police state.
Wait,
Oh, what did
Mariana,
Mariana
one
say?
of our producers just said I have pepper spray on me right now, and I misread that as in me, and I was very concerned.
Not me. I didn't say it.
I once saw a bouncer outside of a
Sorry,
bar
Mariana.
spray pepper spray on like a homeless man that was trying to speak to him.
I think Jamie's protection on the street is just like acting like a crazy person, isn't that?
No, that's literally what I used to do.
Yeah.
When
I do
would
that as
walk,
well.
When I would walk home alone
Well,
at
you don't have
night.
to act. so.
When I would, all the crazy I have is instilled in me by you. So
100%.
I believe it.
no, I used to walk home alone, like at night, like this, just so that no one would
That's
approach me.
Hilarious.
I sing.
truly.
I sing out loud.
What can I totally see this?
No, I
Yeah.
truly
Oh,
do.
boy.
Wait, also, should I start carrying around Raid?
Oh,
As in
God.
like for
Like a
cockroach.
big can of
but
Raid?
for
Yeah, like
men.
because that's legal.
Because guns are
My
hard to
giant
use. Am I
metal.
wrong or am I right? A gun's hard to use.
Actually, no.
It is
I,
hard to
Point
use.
and shoot?
Absolutely.
I think
I
we
don't
need
think
to
it is a
all
point
go to
and
the
shoot.
range and test it out together.
Well,
Oh, cancel culture field trip.
Yeah. I'd wear a cute outfit.
No one wants us holding guns. No one
I
wants us
cut my
holding
fingers
guns.
off twice.
Yeah.
I've literally had two
Sarah, tell
occasions
this story.
where I
Tell
used
this
it.
story of the first time you cut it off.
The first time I was being vegan and I was trying to make cauliflower wings, you know, as one does when they're being
Yeah.
vegan. And I had a brand new chef's knife and I was being an idiot and I was cutting the cauliflower kind of like in a circle and I caught my little thingy, this one right.
Cut the whole
Oh,
tip
I
off.
think I'm gonna throw up.
Who was the wide receiver from the Giants who shot himself in the dick?
That's so embarrassing.
Oh my God.
I just had this thought because we've been talking a lot about penises, and
Plaxico Burress.
I
Plaxico Burress.
feel like it must be very stressful, I will say, to have a penis because like imagine that's such a sensitive thing that's just constantly exposed to the world and like it's like if my arm was as
Constantly
you know?
exposed to the world.
Mine's
There's
not
gonna be
constantly
outside
exposed to
elements.
No,
I'm
just
pretty
like
sure
wind,
you go to
rain,
jail
fire.
for that.
it's
I
outside
mean-
your
Public
body.
indecency.
Again, okay.
All right,
Not
anyway,
connected to
moving
mine,
on.
but okay.
Yeah, poor
let's
boy.
look
Well,
at
I mean, this is the thing. I
people
don't
with
think it's
penises.
that hard. You have that appendage your whole life, so
Yeah.
I think you get used to it.
we get a
Also,
lot of
it's like
practice.
not big all the time. Sometimes
We
it
get a
just
lot
like
of reps.
sits there, you know.
Ew, okay, I'm moving. I'm sorry, I even said anything.
Yeah, you brought it up.
I'm sorry. Let's move on to a good example, if there is such a thing,
Of a gun joke?
of a gun joke, and see if we can discern the difference, I guess, between the good and the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's throw to Michael
It's
Costa.
tough in the U.S. Gender jokes are tough. Race is tough. You know,
Moving on to
politics
topics.
is tough.
Yeah, not
What's the
bad.
toughest topic? Guns. Guns
Yes.
are the hardest topic to do jokes about.
Wow, this is good.
You hear how
press.
quiet it is now that I even just said guns? It's always tough to do jokes about guns. It's always too soon, isn't it? Isn't that sad? We love guns, man. It's the second thing we wrote. It's the second thing we wrote. Out of all the things to write when starting a country, the second thing they wrote down is you better get a gun. The first thing they wrote down is you can say what you want, and then they were like, oh, but you better get a gun if you want to do that. We wrote that before women's rights, slavery, healthcare. That's high. 2 is high, everybody. Even Germany's #2 wasn't arm every citizen with a deadly weapon.
That's
It was
a
very good.
well-written joke.
I agree.
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart. Well, he
Yeah.
goes through each idea that everybody has about guns and
Mm-hmm.
reads into every single one.
But also the idea that like #2
Is the
Yeah.
second
the
thing you
second
wrote.
thing. And the way to tie it back, I thought he was going to skip the whole First Amendment thing. He's like, you can say what you want, but if you're going to do that, that was really good.
My favorite part was the shooting greeting. And I personally feel we should adopt that tradition and just shoot.
With
every
real
time.
guns or just
Yeah, I
the
think he
sound
meant real
effects?
guns, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it goes back to like the second thing we wrote, the Second Amendment. The second people get with tattoos. The Second Amendment. It's a fetish. It's a sexual fetish. There's absolutely no question.
Ammosexual.
We can't.
Ammosexual.
We can't separate.
We should call this episode ammosexual.
Ammosexuals.
Great. I concur. One thing I did really like is
ammosexual.
We
Are
talked
you
about
ammo curious or are you ammosexual?
Elayna is desperately trying to.
I'm trying to move us along.
Shoot, Elayna. Yeah. Take us
from
away.
The dick.
Take me
fetish,
away from myself. Even.
whatnot.
I think that part of the issue with telling jokes about guns is that, and this is similar to abortion, is that it's gonna be funny to one side no matter what. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like the pro-gun people are not. Well, I don't know. I feel like pro-gun
I
people
think we got
probably
that with
found
abortion.
Michael Acosta's.
I think we did it with abortion, where we got both sides. I think we hit both sides on abortion.
Yeah, that's true. Well, so what are some ideas that we think could be good joke topics?
Well, there's a lot because it's also absurd in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think definitely the teachers owning guns.
Yes, completely.
Yes.
You gotta get both sides. That's it. You want to pull in both sides, or at least get them at the beginning with both sides.
Okay. Well,
the fact that
like critique after we've written something for you.
The blaming of like video games and like violent movies, and there's like different kind of theories as to why there's violence when it's just probably the ownership of guns.
That's true. Like
having them in the space.
That's a really funny way to angle, I think, to like all the things that cause gun violence that aren't guns.
Apart from guns.
Right.
It's like,
right, like the whole mental
get?
health versus gun control. Like, oh, they were just sick. Guns don't shoot people. People shoot people.
Shoot people. Yeah. Well, the idea also that like somebody, I think this was Lewis Black, was told a joke about how the NRA is the biggest spokesperson for mental health after a shooting. Like they love to talk about how we need help, like better mental health in this country. But then like, what are you doing about it?
Right. They're actively lobbying against universal health care. And
true. That is true.
It ruins their profits. Why would you do that? You're gonna make less money.
I was thinking about
spokespeople in general.
I was thinking about lockdown drills, and as a school teacher, I have them. And one of the things we're told to do is like kind of tower up all of the furniture in the room in front of the door, and like these ridiculous sort of like images, which
it's like the duck and cover videos from like the Cold War.
Chuck your pencils, chuck your pencil cases, like
Hey kids, it's just like Jenga.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea,
it's Tetris.
Literally, the idea that
It's
hiding
mass
under
shooter
your desk
Tetris.
protects you.
That's good.
Right. No, after Uvalde, our preschool like corporate headquarters sent out this huge blast that was like, "You're safe, you're safe, you're safe," was basically all they said, but didn't give us like any tools or like specific tasks. Right. Yeah. And then, I mean, look, we got 2 and 3-year-olds, and the preschool's open. If someone gets through the front door, first of all, they're not going to be quiet and sit down. Like, we're getting shot up. I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're just, and then it was just like them gaslighting us. Like, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe. This is exactly the tone of.
This is the tone of gun.
This is for a nuclear weapon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're trying to mass panic with something that you can't control.
Did you ever see the after shots of Nagasaki?
Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Yeah.
Like
the fact that we dropped 2 bombs is like crazy.
Things you can't run from. You can't duck under a desk.
America, the only country to drop a nuclear weapon.
2.
I can't. Well, I also think
atomic weapon, to be specific.
Yeah, atomic bomb, the A bomb.
Yes.
I think though the fact that 2 of you are teachers and Jamie has been worked in a school, I think there's a lot to mine there.
I remember in college, in Sarah and my school building where we had all of our classes, it was completely zero security. Like anybody could walk into the building because it was also a rented studio. So one time a really drunk man came into the building and like was stumbling around, like drunkenly wandering through our halls, went into the bathroom and was just in there making a racket and creeping people out. And I was sitting there and we were sitting in the hallway like, what do we do? And I went to the office to like tell whoever was in there that there was a drunk guy in the bathroom. And this guy in the office was like, all right, I got it. And I see him get a baseball bat and walk into the bathroom. And I was like, oh, the fact that what if that guy had a gun? Like, what if we had no...
That's why we need that.
That sounds like some shit my dad would do with his little baseball bat.
All right, I think we have to, now that we've said...
All right, I'm going
okay.
now. I'm going?
Yeah.
Bye. Am I going?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going.
Take the headphones out.
Wait, he's about to say something, I swear.
No, I'm not.
Like always.
Sing it, Sarah.
Yeah, go. So jokes.
Okay. I put a little...
I think we should run with the joke that's like everything that contributes to gun violence that isn't guns. Or what was the other thing that Sarah said that was the
as in like the building the hoarding of furniture.
Oh,
and like
yes, piling it up,
throwing pens and pencils and little fun shaped rubbers, you know, erasers, as you say. Like kitty.
2 minutes to write. There's that guy who has his lady hold a gun to his head in order to get hard.
Wow.
Look at Sarah's face.
I might
while
be
she's
into
writing.
that.
Sarah's getting off to her writing.
Leave me alone.
All right. Well, the writer's room was eventful. I think we got a lot out of it. We have some jokes for Evan to dig into. So here he goes with our literature, our high art.
All right, I'm ready. With a gun. Okay. Let me read it first. At first
Take a
glance,
breath.
far-right
Take a breath.
gun lovers seem pretty sex negative. Allowing amendments written in the 1790s to dictate your life typically comes hand in hand with other old-fashioned views like hating gays and fucking not for pleasure, but to raise children named Peyton and Paisley. But if you dig a bit deeper, you can see that these fuckers are horny as hell. They get moist at the sight of ammo, hard for weaponry. They're comparing the size of their guns with their friends, almost like it's a symbol of their manhood. And rather than stopping them from having guns, I think the solution is let them have what they want. Let them love what they love. Let them have sex with their guns. Hashtag shoot your load.
I can't believe that just happened.
Oh my god.
I mean, I think it's pretty successful.
Yes.
Is
I actually don't think.
do we think gun
that threads
fucking is
the needle.
problematic? I don't think we're shaming the kink. We're leaning into it.
We're
We're leaning into
fucking-
the kink.
You get your kinks.
Go
We
fuck
get our
your gun.
kinks. You get your kinks.
Yeah, stop acting so creepy with guns.
Just fuck it in public.
if you don't want to fuck them.
Well, actually not.
Maybe not in public. That's another level of kink.
Go to a gun club.
And that's my new
There's a
porno.
new definition of gun
Fucking the gun in public.
I think you killed it, for lack of a
you
better phrase.
Too soon.
Too soon.
All right, well, I think we were successful personally,
Goodbye.
but if anybody I think if anybody thinks that we did a bad job, did a good job, you should write in, let us know. If you have a joke about guns that you think is good and won't get you canceled, submit, we'll judge it. We love judging things, except for kinks. And until next time.
But we're gonna be playing the New York Comedy Festival in November.
Yeah.
So check our Instagram feed. Check our Instagram feed, and hopefully you can come see it.
Yeah, come see us, come talk to us, come tell us how much you hate us. All of the above. At cancelculture_pod on Instagram, and we'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, this has been Cancel Culture.
Cancel
Culture.
Podcast.